welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Muthoni Mukiri and you're watching Muthoni's Mission. So if you're new here, our channel is about emotional and mental wellness. Feel at home and please feel free to watch previous videos as you subscribe. So if you're old or you're used to watching my videos, you're not new here, welcome back and I'm happy you made it again today. So we've been singing all along about toxic men, dating toxic women, toxicity. Oh, we don't want toxicity. We don't want men who are toxic. Toxicity is bad, blah, blah, toxic, toxic, toxic. What if we are the toxic ones? What if you are the toxic person? Yeah, so today I want to talk about how to know if you're toxic, what exactly is toxicity, and how you can start towards your becoming better and towards stopping being toxic. Nobody wants to be toxic, like from... I don't think anybody just wakes up and chooses to just be toxic. I think it comes from somewhere, and that is what I want to talk about today. So first of all, if you feel you're toxic, this video was requested by a few people, like 6 or 7 people, and then lately another lady dropped me a DM on IG and told me to talk about if you're toxic. Thank you for that DM, and thank you for everybody else who have requested this video. So first of all, I want to clap for you for wanting to be better, for wanting to do better. Because like I say, mostly we usually run to the victim corner. Someone did this to me, someone did this to me. Okay, what if you're the one who's doing that to other people? What if you're the cause of agony and stress and pain to other people? You know, so I want to clap for you. I want to tell you kudos. I want to tell you we are not here to judge, and this channel is not to judge you, but it's to help you in your self-awareness journey, is to help you in your journey as you're becoming a better person and becoming more aware. So toxic, what is toxic? So toxic comes from a deeply wounded place, somewhere deeply wounded, and most toxic behaviors come from our upbringing, our childhood experiences, or our previous experiences before. It's a form of selfishness. It's like deriving pleasure from people's suffering, or disregarding people's feelings, or just feeling good when you hurt people, or just walking around leaving a trail of hurting people in pain, people suffering. Maybe in your friendships, all your friendships end because probably you do something, or you don't have your emotions, or you cannot accommodate people, you know. So that is what we are talking about today, toxicity. So there is also something called sadists. Sadists are people who also derive pleasure from bad things happening to other people, like hurting people, like being cruel, being mean, and those things. So I want to talk about ways that how to know you're mean. And okay, I want to talk about how to know you're toxic, how you can know you're toxic. Number one, it's being mean and cruel. Like you don't care if you've said something so mean to someone and leave them crying and leave them feeling bad about themselves. You are so mean. Like you know, there's something you can do with your words. When you speak your words or whatever you do, you can either correct a situation or make it worse. You can either uplift someone's mood or lower their moods. You can either build someone's self-esteem or even, you know, leave them with no esteem. So how you choose to use your words, how you choose to use your personality really matters. So for toxic people, you're so mean. Yani, you don't care about anybody else's needs except your own. You don't care what people are gonna have to do to make you happy. Like you just want to be happy in expense of other people's feelings and emotions. Yeah, number one is meanness and cruelty. Meanness and cruelty. Number two is selfishness. You're so selfish, your needs have to be met. You're so selfish, it's either your way or the highway. You're so selfish, you don't compromise for anybody. It's either, and you know, sometimes, you know, selfishness also, people that are very selfishness is also... Okay, you're also selfish if you cheat in your relationships. You're having extramarital affairs, that's what you call them, or you're cheating on your girlfriend, or you're having affairs outside your relationship, you're very selfish. If you're cruel to children, you're very selfish, by the way. People, you don't care about who you hurt along the way, so long as you satisfy your ego in some way. That is also very toxic. Okay, also in terms of cruelty, I forgot something. People who are just cruel to everybody, even to animals. Ukiona mbwa unairushia mawe. Ukipatana na paka unaigonga teke. Like, you're so cruel, you're so full of, I don't know, cruelty inside, you just throwing it all over out here. Another thing is sarcasm. Hey, watu wa sarcasm. Hello. Watu wa sarcasm tukae kona gani? So sarcasm is toxic, you guys. Like, instead of telling someone they did something to you, you start coming up with funny statements. You start singing songs. Yeah, you start telling them anayekudharau atakuheshimu siku moja. What is that song? Anayekudharau siku moja atakusalimia kwa heshima ama something, like by Rose Muhando or someone. You start singing those songs. You start telling them, unajua niliona siku hizi unafanya sijui nini. It's toxic. It's not, as in, and you know what sarcasm, kinda, you're trying to hurt the other person indirectly. You're trying to keep them guessing, okay, this, she has said this and this, okay, what would I have done? Am I yesterday, what did I do? It's the other day. It's toxic, and you would not want someone to do that to you. What was sarcasm? If you want to communicate, learn how to communicate directly, effectively, and learn how to communicate in a way that you want someone to communicate to you. Putting yourself in other people's shoes. Also, this is also very toxic. Revenge. You want to revenge everything. If they came late yesterday, today you're coming late by 2 hours. Utachelewa na 2 hours. If they did something, if they cheated on you with whatever, or if you caught them flirting, or if you felt they were flirting with a colleague, you go ahead and sleep with their brother. Or people nowadays, I even have revenge babies. How dare you? Like, because we broke up with you, or you broke up with your ex-husband, you go having children with their cousins and those things. I was so shocked by that. I had this story. I was like, why would you want to do that to a child? Okay, you know what? Do whatever you want with your body. Why are you bringing a child into this mess? Such a mess, into your own messy situation. At a revenge baby. It's actually sick. It's sickening. So revenge, like, you want to revenge every other thing. Revenge is cold. And like we say, if you really have to revenge, please move on and be happy. Don't. There's one thing I said, because I'm from a trail. I say I'm from a trail of toxic relationships, and I say, sometimes when you're in a toxic situations, you pick toxicity and toxic stuff from that other person, and sometimes they change you into them, and you realize when you're leaving those relationships, you have toxic ways of coping with meanness and cruelty. And one of those ways for me was revenge. Like, when you do something to me, I will revenge to you in some way. It's so toxic. It's not right, because I would not want someone to do that thing to me. So it means it's not a good thing. It's not. So yeah, revenge is something else, you guys, and it is toxic. Yeah, I say, if I feel a situation is so toxic, I'm not gonna let it turn me into the toxicity. I'd rather just walk away with my peace. I've not come this far in my healing journey just to come this far. As in, also lying. There are people who are liars, professional liars, manipulating the truth, So lying is deception. It's not good at all. And the reason people lie is because you're trying to look good than the other person, or to the other person, or you think you're trying to clean your mess or something, or you want your situation to look better than it already is. Lying is toxic. It's not right. And lying also jeopardizes the relationship you have with that other person, because when they find out you're lying, what happens? And then when you lie to them, and then they find out, and then now you start avoiding them, and then now you start messing your relationships. Lying is toxic. Sometimes there are things you lie. Sometimes there are things I lie about. For example, maybe I want to go to Westlands, and I'm in town, and then I'm meeting maybe someone in Westlands, and then they call me, and then I'm like, niko kapa karibu na Westi, but I know I'm not. Nowadays, I'm a bit self-conscious. I can be able to call myself out, Muthoni, no, and then I can be able to call them back, nimwambie, by this jafika Westi, honestly ndio natoka tao, but I'm coming. You know, lying is toxic. It is toxic. It's not. It starts with the little things that we normalize, that we think they are okay. It's not okay. They are not okay. So there are things. Okay, another thing that's really toxic is control and manipulation. You want to control their finances. You want to control who they call on their phone. You want to control where their car will go. You want to control everything. You want to go. You're literally even controlling their sleep pattern, their breathing, what they do with their everything. It is so toxic. And also manipulation. You have to manipulate someone to do something for you. You have to pretend to be sick. You have to pretend to be in distress for them to stop what they're doing for you. You have to stop manipulating people. You also don't want people to take advantage of you like that. So that's one of the ways also you find that you're toxic. If you're a cheater, if you're a liar, if you're cruel, you're mean, you're revenging people, if you are also very sarcastic when it comes to situation, instead of being a grown-up and addressing issues the way they are. Yes. And like I've said, the reason we're toxic is because we pick these things from, you know, different situations we've been in, and some of the toxicity are coping mechanisms we've developed. However, you can choose not to participate in a toxic environment. You can also choose to be neutral in a toxic situation. You can. Okay, so what can you do? Now that you've learned you're toxic, there are things I think you need to do. The first thing is self-awareness. Self-awareness is so important because you understand who you are, what you stand for, why you behave the way you behave. There's a video I've done about self-awareness. I won't go into a lot of details about this. Please go back and watch the video. And I spoke about awareness, knowing yourself. I even spoke about, for ladies, I don't know why it's like I'm catching a cold. For ladies, let me get some soft paper here. Like for ladies, I don't know why. Because it's been too cold. At least today is better though. So I'm saying self-awareness. For ladies, there's a time of the month where you're usually overly emotional. I have that time of the month. I am crying. I am cranky. I am moody. Don't call me. Please understand your cycle for women. So when it gets to that point, please study your cycle for like 4 months. That time when you're so cranky, when you're so moody, write that date down and look at that date, or master it for the next like 4-5 months. You will know there's the time during your periods when you're crazy like that. So when it happens, so right now, because I know my cycle and I know there's a point in my cycle I am emotional and I don't want anything to do with anybody. When it happens and I start getting like that, I can be able to be like, oh, it's because it's that time of the month for me. And I go back to just being mean and being kind and those things. Self-awareness, please know who you are. Also, number 2, raise your self-esteem. Let me tell you, there's nobody who will treat you in a mean way who is feeling good about themselves. People who are mean are trying, most people who are mean and most people who are toxic try to raise their esteem. They try to fill a place in them. They try to bring you down so they can feel better, raise their ego so they can, it's an ego thing. But the reason it's an ego thing is because you're empty deep down. You don't have to bring another person down. You don't have to be so mean. You don't have to start cheating on them, manipulating them, and control them, and to feel good about yourself. You don't have to do those things. You just have to work towards building your self-esteem. Like I said, toxic comes from a wound deeply rooted, maybe from our upbringing, childhood trauma, and even unpleasant experiences that we've experienced before. So work towards building your self-esteem. I have done videos before about self-esteem. Also, there are books about that. There are videos. Other YouTubers have done videos on the same. Please work towards raising your self-esteem. So because when you feel good about yourself, when you come from a place of loving yourself, you will not hate other people. And that is why there's so much hatred even on social media. People are so frustrated. People have low self-esteem, and they think the best way to raise their esteem is by bringing other people down to feel good about themselves. It will never work that way. It never works that way. Also, another thing, as a toxic person, if you feel like you're toxic or you have those toxic traits, be there for yourself and work towards meeting your own goals. Be there for yourself so that you will not need to manipulate and control other people to drop their needs for your needs. Work towards being there for yourself first, to stop really depending so much of people, because even neediness, interdependence, that too much attachment is also very toxic. Learn to be there for yourself and as an individual alone, outside the world, outside everybody else. Learn how to meet your own needs. And like that video, there's a video I talked about, I can't remember, I talk about a lot of things, and I was saying that thing you really need so much from other people is a thing you really need to give to yourself. When you feel like, why are they not calling me, why are they not asking me if I'm sick, why are they not offering to take me for lunch, those are the things you need to do to yourself. Learn to be really, don't neglect your needs, learn to be really there for yourself, so you will not need to be so mean so people can meet your needs. You understand? Yeah, so really, and also another thing is listening. Learn to listen to yourself, learn to listen to other people. Also, let me tell you, the thing about listening to yourself is because when you, whatever you're saying, you're also listening, but sometimes we don't listen to hear. So when you're cruel to someone else, please listen to yourself, and catch yourself. I normally catch myself like, you know, like, what is Muthoni, Muthoni, calm down, Muthoni, calm down, Muthoni, calm down. So learn to listen. Listen, number one, listen to yourself. Number two, learn to listen to people so as not to respond or to argue, but just to get their point, to understand where they're coming from. Learn to listen, so you can also catch yourself, so you can also be able to control yourself, so you can also be able to even be more self-aware. Also, this is so important, understand the need to treat people how you want to be treated. Please treat people the way you want to be treated. And also, don't treat your mother nicely and treat your neighbor badly because you think you don't need your neighbor at any point in your life. No. Every time you do something for somebody, do it because the way you want them to feel is the same way you also want to feel when people do good things to you. You understand? It's really important. Finally, I sing this all the time. Get help. Therapy. 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 I went for therapy and I realized I dated a toxic person and I was also toxic. I had okay, good people can also have toxic traits, and I had toxic traits. Get help, go for therapy if your relationships are falling apart, if you're always frustrated, if people always call you out, you keep getting memos at work, you are always in fights in bars and everywhere. Go for therapy. Therapy is not for people who are sick in bed. Therapy is not for people who are crying throughout, who have those personalities that we hear, those personalities that we hear about that we think are very sickly. Therapy is maintenance for you. Everybody needs advice. Everybody needs counsel. Everybody needs that big sister. Everybody needs someone who listens to them without judging, without objectivity, who's not going to tell you what you want to hear. So get help. And I feel so good doing this video because we right now, as we're doing this video, where we are at now, we are not victims, we are taking charge. And also, if you felt you were toxic to someone on your self-awareness journey, as you're working towards becoming a better version of you, it's also good to apologize. And as you apologize, as you say sorry, I will talk about the best way to apologize and how to really apologize deeply from your heart. Ask them to forgive you, and where need be, make amends. If you stole money from them, pay it back. Don't just say sorry. If you did something that you can make amends for, please make it right. So thank you so much for watching. I don't know if there's anything I've forgotten. I don't know if there's anything I've forgotten about things. I don't think there's anything I've forgotten. So you can always be better. You can always improve on yourself. You can always learn, relearn, and you can. It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to be to work towards healing. It feels good to be there for yourself. It's also part of self-care, part of making yourself happy, part of seeking your own happiness. Thank you so much for watching. This is week 2, end of week 2, having a video every day. I feel so good. This week was a bit shaky because I was a bit unwell, but you know what? We've made it happen, and next week is going to be bigger and better. So I wish you a good weekend. Have a lovely weekend, and please continue watching other videos as you continue to share these videos and also to subscribe. Bye.